Hello. This is the record of the presentation about Sanitation Center that will be presented by Sajad Gazanfarinia, and this is the part of the activities of the mission 43 in Space Analog Station of Marte in a virtual way. Today is July 1st, and congratulations, and you are welcome, Sajad, to start your presentation. Okay, thanks so much.
Thank you for your great introduction. And I should say that it is very, very new and kind of abstract experience for me to be part of this mission. And thank you for having me in this mission. Uh, I'm going to overview some of researches that I have done during these days on sanitation center and recycling facilities. The mission is very important and interested for me as it could be used on Earth directly in some cases. So I would like to share what I have studied about with you, and your comments are highly appreciated on this material. So we wanted to talk about some titles based on the template. I tried to cover the whole titles in the future slides. As you may know, we are locked down in our centers, and there is a storm there in the condition that we are consuming emission 43. Uh, I consider that the sanitation center could be like a capsule in 3 to 4 levels, and each level could be allocated to one section and one uh, part of activities that are going to be done into this center. The first is for entrance inputs and storage. The second in for sanitation and other recycling activities, and the last is for mission control and management unit. The last will be the part that the self-sustaining components of the center will be organized to. Okay, to go through this uh, capsule, we need or center, we need to develop some kind of technologies on board. So these technologies are needed to be designed and developed in the center, and maybe in collaboration with engineering center. Systems for producing cleansing materials. We need some materials for cleansing, from fabrics to some kind of solutions we need to use during our operation. We need to recycle the waste from food, human, and other centers. We gather some kind of different waste, so we need recyclers to be designed because we may face new waste, new kinds of waste. So we may need to design and develop some new technologies for recyclers. Uh, if we are in lockdown during the storm, we may need compact sanitation unit separately for each center, or we may just use diapers and cleansing pads. Oops. And also we need air conditioners uh, dedicated to waste tanks, dedicated to centers that may have different conditions, and there are customized ones. So we may not use general and the thing that we have supposed to be working on centers. We may need to develop some kind of new filters for them even. And repairing components is a must. Maybe we need to develop new 3D printers. There are different 3D printers now in concept or in even the product, and you may have known about different NASA challenges that ended to different 3D printers concepts to even build large habitats in on the moon surface or Mars. But there may be some kind of new uh, line of 3D printers, so we may consider that there may be need to this technology on Mars. Also, we have different parts that uh, in the our center may be needed to be maintained or replaced. There are fluorescent rods and also inflatable outfittings that need to be replaced based on time by time. Not only based on some kind of external uh, effects, but also based on the time that they're using. So they should be replaced based on their life. Also, we need some integration tools for our inflatable outfittings as they are working under pressurized environment. So we need some integration tools. Okay, from the side view, you can see the 3 to 4 level center based on I just chose this concept out of different concepts that I have studied online. So it is not totally my idea, but I changed some of the ideas into what can be used in sanitation center in some place like Habitat Marte. So the function of this system is to provide self-cleaning section. So astronauts and crew from different centers may come to this center for may come to this center for self-cleaning, and there are different storages for different types of waste. Also, we have water tanks. Main water storage of the whole system could be in sanitation center. And also the whole recycling cycle and recycling process will be done in this section. I mean general recycling, not only the water recycling. The whole recycling process from the wastes would be done in this section, and also there may be some sub processes for recycling in different sections, as the one that we had learned about yesterday by Dave. And also, one of the main functions is to sustain the crew into this center. For these functions, we have different duties and different positions. Resource monitor or resource monitoring is one of the main roles that not only is about the resources that we have in this center, but also about the resources that other centers have. As I said, there are some kind of resources for emergency states, like the state that we are now in. So the duty of crew should be to monitor the resources in other centers. It could be done based on sensors and using IoT or some other kinds of communication between the centers, but it is needed to be done both on presential and also on virtual kind of contact. So we need process control engineers. We need to develop new processes and also to control the right process of the active, kind of functionalities that I go through previous slide. Also, we have a recycling section. Recycling section have different kind of duties. First of them, I should go to categorizing the waste. After that, I should say that this waste may need more sanitation in case of we are going to reuse some of the waste like plastics or PETs. So we may need to sanitize first and then make use of them in other components. And also we have two types of engineers needed. Mechanical engineer to shape the need of other centers into the drawing and also the design that could be implemented by the recycling section, and also water and water waste engineers who could process with water and other wastes soft sewage recycling. As you can see here in the plan, there is a floor plan for the first floor of the center, and there are different parts for soft sewage. Also, you can see the water tank and the smaller tanks around the main water tank. The smaller tank are just filled up for the other centers, and that could be used in emergency conditions. Also, there are a galley path through you can see, and there are waste tanks, two types of waste tank you can see here. One of them in yellow is needed to be sanitized, the other can be used in recycling section directly. Also, we need gardeners to sustain ourselves by the food, and also we need physicists to help us in keeping healthy. Yeah, as I said, the activities are like this. When we are in conditions like lockdown, we should have our work done. We should continue categorizing waste and reviewing the recycling processes. We may have some processes that are basically based on our connection to the outer of our center. We may need to recycle and review the processes based on these lockdown conditions. Also, we may have some time to implement recycling because we need it. The lockdown and a storm will be finished in short time, and after that we need to go over all the routines that we were doing in normal condition. Also, the monitoring should be done. It is not going to be solved because we may need to do some kind of urgent missions on urgent operations to save somebody who have lost its resources in another center. So monitoring is a must. Also, there should be a manager for a whole center to check and manage the operation, to decide about something that we may need to go through in urgent and some conditions like the one that we are now in. Also, to sustain the center, we should have somebody to operate the instruments. The instruments are in different levels. As you may see, there are different instruments in the third floor in the plan. You can see there are some places for exercise, also some private area for medication, also some partition for resting and standing, also for some operation during the mission. There could be uh, some movable partitions between the sections to change the whole section into a new shape or configuration. Also, we need to refresh the center. The center should be cleaned and should be operable for the crew. As I said just 2 days ago, I say 2 souls ago, I should say. Yeah, there was 4 people needed for the center. As I said, now there is a need for 6 people to be inside this center, but it is not needed to occupy all these people, and also it is not needed to have them fully allocated to the task that I mentioned, and they may just do some of other tasks from the other centers too. Yes, we need to produce food. To produce food, we have considered 2 sessions. The first is on the fourth floor, which is the upper side of the whole center, and the other is on the core section. As you have seen in this slide, in the third floor, we have blue and somehow orange parts that could be used for producing foods. And we are going to produce 3 main products: soybeans, lettuce, and potato, to provide a starch, veggies, and also proteins, and need the less kind of um, and need less effort to be mm, kind of products into the center. They are the simplest products that could be burned into a section like this, and we can use them for the whole kind of lockdown time. We should know that these kind of uh, products are needed only for lockdowns and time, and after that we should go over the normal process to use the thing that other will use. And yes, the system should be in whole integration, and there are different interfaces that we need to consider. So the one who are in sanitation center need to uh, refresh the water storage in other centers quickly. So the main resource that is needed to be checked is uh, water storage for urgent application and usage during the lockdown or something like this. And also there should be a routine or protocol to make all crew to use the sanitation center 2 times a week. So it is not only for kind of their health, but also for the processes of the sanitation center, because the system cannot be turned off and it should be working on a regular basis. Also, there is a check process or activity is to check that all the resources are okay and all the crew are following the protocol for using the sanitation center, and also checking that the system or the emergency system that we have considered for each center, which is going to do the minimal works that are done under the sanitation center on board another centers, should be working properly. I should say that the compact units that are in each center should be checked regularly, say bi-weekly, to see that they are working properly. And also, do not forget to do not pass your waste uncategorized. So it will be checked too. The crew of sanitation center will check that wastes are not categorized, and the input of the sanitation center is categorized based on the wastes. And what we can apply from this daily life in our habitat to our daily life in Earth. The first is categorizing the waste. Yeah, we have two categories, I guess, that is usually done in any country, like Brazil, like Kuwait, like Canada, like India and Iran. We have separating the waste which can be recycled, called drought one in Iran, and from the one that cannot be recycled in our home daily. The thing that we are going through is only for plastics. Yeah, in Iran we are just separating plastics, and also sometimes we are separating the tissues or also papers from the other waste. But the life in habitat learn us that all the waste could be recycled. So you should find the process, and finding the process, you may categorize the waste and recycle. If you categorize the waste, there should be some processes for recycling the waste. There may be some general processes in the whole country or in your city for recycling the waste, and there may not. So if there is not the recycling process for the waste that you have categorized, so go for it, make it, and make your own recycling process, and have your own recycler. This is what I'm doing now in my home. I'm recycling the waste of foods, mainly the waste of fruits that are forming some kind of nutrient material for my flowers. And also sanitation and sanitization of the whole instruments and the whole area that we are working and living there. We don't mind this that much, and we have some kind of bacteria and viruses around ourselves that could not only make us feel bad or treat our wellness during the life, or may cause diseases. We don't mention that in daily life. However, we are now mentioning this that it should be a regular work to mind the sanitization and sanitation of the environment and instruments that we are using daily. As you may know, before the COVID, the most unpure and the most diluted component in the world was our cell phones, because we used it everywhere, and we touch it after touching anything in the world. So the most polluted one could be the cell phone. So we are now using the cleansing material for making it clean during the day for several times. So it should be a routine for our daily life, even after the COVID times. This is what you can apply from the process that we are in. during these days, or during the lockdown in the habitat on Mars, to our daily life in Earth. Okay, that's all. And thank you for the time. I try to make it as short as possible, not to talk much and make you bored more. I hope that you are still awake. And the main resource and reference that I was using for this was Project Habitat module. With these keywords, you can find the solution that I was talking about with some modifications. However, there are different resources that I can share on the group if you want. And I'm open to any comments and questions if you have. Thank you.
Congratulations, Sajad, for your presentation. And then
Thank
some
you.
designs that were developed by you, or you saw in a paper.
Yeah, as I said, I reviewed different designs and different concepts for this uh, application. They were, I mean, directly or indirectly to what I was thinking of. So I chose one of them and changed them
Okay.
into something that could be just compatible with our needs.
Yeah, interesting. Yesterday, I was reading the European Plan for Circular Economy, and then this is an interesting document. And then they were talking about the importance of the product design to will have a better recycling process of the products in Europe. Okay, and then I was thinking about space recycling, and then the importance of the design of the products, because I believe the products and the package to carrying to be transported to Mars, they would be built with some material that possible to be more easily recycled, no? And then sometimes break it, and after you create the pellets, and from the pellets creates like a wire, and then using a 3D printer. And then I believe they need to consider what kind of material the products will be made, and also the package from the some other materials too. And then I believe this would be an interesting point, and maybe the sanitation center would be connected with like a recycling center too, as you mentioned in some parts of your presentation. And these are some comments that I'd like to present. Congratulations.
Thank you. Your comments are highly appreciated. And also, I should say that I will be so happy if I can have the paper that you said about the European source. Also, I should say that uh, as you saw, we just go over the third and first floor. The second floor is the engineering section that is completely allocated to recycling. So there may be different booths or different sections for recycling different materials. Uh, and there are some processes and also some mechanisms to just transfer the waste from the first floor to the second floor and make them to something useful and get back to the first floor for storage. The second floor is used in a way that could be under the place that the crew will live and have their daily life in a clean condition. So as you see, I am so close to what you have in mind. Yeah, the second section is part of the sanitation center.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, hello, Sajid. Yeah, that was great presentation actually, and I like the concept of having three floors and three levels of maintaining the waste. And I'd like to ask about how you are dealing with human waste and human clothing.
Thank you for your kind notice, but the only thing that I didn't get was the question in the last sentence. Sorry. Can you
Yeah,
please
uh,
repeat?
I was asking about I was asking about how you are going to deal with human waste as well as human clothing and atmospheric waste that you get from the inside the station and from the other stations.
I don't know what's the problem, but I hear your voice flaky because of the network. I guess.
Tijasvi,
Can you
your
type
your
your question?
yeah, maybe because your sound is not very clear, and then if you type, you can try to answer.
Yeah, I will type.
I'm so sorry. Thank you.
Also, Vasha have some questions.
Yeah, I'll wait for after Tejasvi.
Okay.
Mm, let me see. How can I share my account? Oh, can you see me now? Okay. I don't know what's the problem with the laptop webcam, but you can see here our office is empty now.